If you want to save your life, you've got to lose it. That's the exact opposite of what the world tells us. But this is exactly what Jesus tells us. We're in Luke chapter 9, verses 23 through 25. He said to his disciples and the crowds, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit their very self?" So we've got to start with self-denial right out the gate. We've got to die to our self-will and embrace God's will. We've got to let go of self-determination and replace it with obedience and dependence on Jesus. And then he goes on to say we got to take up our cross daily. Now, let's pause for a second and talk about the cross. In Jesus' day, the original audience, the cross wasn't a metaphor for an inconvenience. It was an execution device. It meant you were condemned and you were carrying it to your own death through the public, carrying all the shame of doing that. And this is a daily decision. We have to die to ourselves every day and freely follow Christ. Verse 24, this is the paradox. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it. So let's talk about real quick, the word life in the Greek was suhe. It was the very breath of life, your soul, your spirit. So if you live a self-centered life in this world to save your life, you will not find eternal life with God. You'll lose it. But whoever gives up a self-centered life in this world loses it. For God, for the sake of Jesus, you will have everlasting life in eternity, that you'll save it. And then in verse 25, Jesus does a little terminology switch when he says, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit their very self? So he switched over to kind of a marketplace terminology, gain, profit, forfeit, loss. So we have a profit-loss statement there. So your total success living in self in the world nets out to total bankruptcy. What good is it? So the big idea here as we land this plane, self-preservation equals self-destruction, but self-surrender equals living your best life here in eternity. The cross isn't a burden for us to tolerate. It's death to our right to run our own life in exchange for a life that we couldn't get on our own. God bless.